want you in the front. Sally Alice should be in the front. Keep coming this way, please. Okay. Let's have them go through here. We're going to go through here. We're going to go through here. Darling daughter. No, don't run to me. Stay in the march. No obscenities, we're recording live.
We shall overcome. We shall
overcome. Mop. Get the mop. Get the mop. Get the mop. Get the mop! Get the mop! Get. Hopefully we are recording. Okay, Sally, why don't you sit for a minute? Why don't you come over here for a second? Okay, we're good. Okay, there's a bunch of people out here. It's a beautiful Saturday in Santa Fe, New Mexico. My name is Tom Dent. I'm president of the Coordinating Council of the Albuquerque Center for Peace and Justice. First of all, let me tell you that there wouldn't be an Albuquerque Center for Peace and Justice if it wasn't for Sally Alice Thompson. In the short time I've been associated with the Center for Peace and Justice, I've never met a more amazing activist in my life. As a matter of fact, I've never met a more amazing person in my life. Sally Alice does everything. She is at every rally. She goes to every congressman, senators, city councilor's office. She is everywhere. She believes in very just causes. She is very anti-war. Her and her husband Don founded the Albuquerque chapter for Veterans for Peace. She's a raging granny. She's everything. She's a member of Move to Amend. She's a member of Public Citizen. I'm also the coordinator for Central New Mexico Move to Amend, and Sally Alice has collected more signatures for our national petition to overturn Citizens United and get money out of politics than any other person in the state of New Mexico. She is absolutely amazing. Now she's collecting signatures for Public Citizen for the same thing. And basically both of them state that corporations are not people, that money is not speech, that we have to get money, especially big money, out of politics. We need to get our politicians back to work. We need to get our democracy back to work. And we need to get Washington, D.C. out of the hands of the corporations, the big banks, and the big money interests to represent everybody, the poor, the middle class, everybody in this country. Most people I know in the activist community in New Mexico and the peace and justice community know Sally Alice Thompson. Most people should be like trying to push me out of the way and get to this microphone, because one of the greatest honors in this state, if not this country, is to be privileged enough to introduce Sally Alice Thompson, who at the age of 90 walked from Albuquerque to Santa Fe to get money out of politics.
Yay! Sally!
Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate all the support, all the wonderful support that I've had.
Closer to the mic, Sally.
I appreciate the wonderful support I've had on this whole trip. I want to thank everybody who came out. And I want to thank everybody who walked with me in the 2 weeks I've been walking. And I want to thank the hosts who have provided me with loving hospitality. And I especially want to thank Lemoyne Castle, who has walked with me every day. And I want to thank Carmen Martin, who has shuttled for me. I asked her to shuttle for me for 2 miles. She must shuttle. She came out every day and has made wonderful contacts for me. Gay Gustafson, if you need a good podiatrist, she's the one. So I think everybody here knows what my message is, but I think that Senator Dee Dee Feldman can say what we need to do in this country better than I can. So Dee Dee, if you'll come to the mic, I would like for you to speak, please. State Senator Dee Dee Feldman.
What a privilege to share the stage with a true local hero. A true local hero. In 2001, I was privileged to welcome Granny D in New Mexico at the state capitol here. She had walked across the country. She was just starting out on her journey, and it took her months and months. Then finally, she was greeted at the steps of the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol, by John McCain. And shortly thereafter, the U.S. Congress passed the McCain-Feingold Act, one of the most sweeping pieces of campaign finance reform that we've ever had. Of course, that whole law has now been undercut by Citizens United. But now, and the McCutcheon decision. See, I've got help over here. And now we have our own Granny D. And I want to tell you, it's a Granny S. And I believe all politics is local. And it is local, and Granny S is going to be very important during this session. You are all going to be very important in this session as a number of bills will be introduced to increase transparency, to establish a ethics commission, an independent ethics commission to really deal with corruption in the New Mexico state government.
Oh, yeah!
And also, there are, throughout the state of New Mexico, efforts at the local level to get public financing, which I believe is the real solution. Public financing of municipal elections in Las Cruces, to improve the system in Santa Fe, in Albuquerque, and instituted in Rio Rancho. So keep together, keep following your leader, Granny S., and thank you, Sally, for bringing this issue to the public conscience.
Yes, sir! Yes, Susana Martinez of the Toll Brothers Conference! Yay! Way to go, Dee! Pueblo!
A little about the walk. I expected to sleep in my car as I was going along. Pleasant surprise. One of my hosts turned out to be one of the organizers of the Great Peace, and I've stopped at several schools and spoke to the children, and I still have appointments set up to speak to children in schools yet when I go back home to. And I've also made one arrangement to show the film Pay to Play. I have that DVD, and I'm going to be showing it in Bernalillo at the public library. And so I have several follow-up things that are going on, and so it doesn't stop today. It goes on, and we've got to go. I invite everybody to keep on keeping on.
Oh, yeah! porque este es Nuevo México. Les voy a decir unas palabras en español, La héroa. La Sally es una héroa. La gobernadora es una tonta que no le gusta a la gente, Susana Martínez es una pendeja. La Sally le debería enseñar qué es amar a la gente. De modo que con todo el corazón, Sally, the land of enchantment, we love you so much, en español, en inglés, en francés, en alemán, en los idiomas de los indios de aquí, Gracias, Sally. She's the only woman admiral that not only walks the earth, but sails the seas. Yay, Sally! Better than Columbus, right? Anytime.
The big money people would love to get their hands on our Social Security money. They want to
Closer, Charles.
change Medicare. They want to take money
mic up
from
to his mouth.
Medicaid. We need to stand up and not let that happen. There's a meeting coming up this Tuesday. Can't think of the date. Is that the 28th? Tuesday, October 28th, at the Albuquerque Center for Peace and Justice. It's a meeting to urge, especially women, to protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. It's something that's especially important to women. We want to preserve it, protect it, and expand it.
Way to go! Way to go, Joe!
How many of you think that she had a life before Granny D? Well, I'm here to tell you, in 1955, she was a young Turk. And she's been doing it ever since. Go for it, Sally.
Doug and I wanted to say just a couple of things. Most of you know Lawrence Lessig, who's also working on this campaign, and he wants to make money in politics. Oh, first of all, the meme should be, it's recommended that the meme be changed to corruption, to bring in the concept of corruption rather than money in politics. Money in politics, it's easy for one side of the aisle to make it a partisan issue, but when you say corruption, it's definitely, everybody sees it as a nonpartisan issue. Also, Lessig wants to make sure that this issue is one of the top 3 issues in the 2016 presidential campaign, so watch for that, because I think we could make something out of that. And lastly, one of the ways that we're going to get money out of politics is to take the money out of the big banks. So there's a big movement here in Santa Fe for a public bank. Some of you may have been aware of that. There's a meeting Wednesday night here at the City Council for you Santa Feans to support the public bank concept. The City Council is pretty much behind it. The county's pretty much behind it. But the more support we have for it, the better. So public bank gets money out of the hands of the big banks and makes the money belong to all of us, really, and could lend us back. The public banking seminar mentioned some infrastructure project in California. The new Bay, they're doing some repairs on the Bay Bridge. It's going to cost $9 billion for the repairs, but when you put in the interest, it's going to come to $18 billion because where they're paying as much in interest as they are in the actual cost of it. So if we can get a public bank, we can keep the money, working for us. And also you can put restrictions on environment and labor when you have a public bank. So.
Thank you.
Really excited because not only am I, I'm thrilled that with what Sally Alice did, and do consider her my hero. And it is about getting money out of politics and also out of the big banks. I live in Albuquerque, but I just spent 6 months helping put on this symposium about public banking, which is a way to bring our money home. And for those of you who are in Albuquerque, you might want to know.
When it comes to getting out for peace, Sally Alice is there first. When it comes to morals over money in politics, Sally Alice is there first. In fact, when it comes to leading anything that requires thought and deliberation and caring for humanity, Sally Alice is there. I've met many of her adopted children from around the country and from around the world, from Turkmenistan and China. And she's just a stellar example. And before I met Sally, it was before I became a grandmother, so I bicycled a lot. And I walk now more, but I want to encourage all of you to think about Sally Alice and what she's done. If you think you have a reason for not walking or biking, think again. She started this trip when she was 90 and she's now 91. So hip hip hooray for Sally Alice, and you can too. Thank you.
Okay, I guess just make sure you hit the red button. There's a way to lock it, but I don't know. Rally that we're trying to put on November 1st. There's a national and international movement right now called March Against Corruption. It's calling for events in over 100 cities across the United States and Australia, Canada, and parts of Europe. And it's asking for activists to put on very large events against corruption between the dates of November 1st and November 8th. So on November 1st, we're calling for a mass March Against Corruption rally on the intersection of San Mateo and Montgomery at 11 o'clock. And then we'll probably march past the IRS building where the Tea Party has their little rallies. And then we're going to go to Montgomery Park and have a rally and a number of speakers and politicians and anybody who wants to speak. But we are going to address every level of corruption, and we know that it's everywhere. It's multinational. It's in the oligarchy in Washington. It's here at the Roundhouse with the Martinez administration and other interests. It's in the the Perry, the Albuquerque city administration. It's everywhere. We need honest politicians. We need money out of politics. And we need our democracy back. Thanks. Yeah, quickly.
Sorry, I forgot. Most of you know, maybe you don't know, Ben Cohen, who founded Ben & Jerry's, one of his main things is to get money out of politics, and he started this thing called the Stamp Stampede, which these ladies over here have the stamps for. Ben will be here in November, so keep your eyes out for it. He'll be here in Santa Fe with lots of ice cream and lots of stamps. It's going to be a really fun event. So keep your eyes out. Come up from Santa Fe, come up from Albuquerque, and have a good time. Sorry, I forgot that before.
Don't worry. Okay, so there's another thing. Sally mentioned this before, but let me just emphasize that there's this date coming up. It's called Tuesday, November 4th. Get out and vote. Drag people to vote. Drag the young people. Go on the college campuses. Go up to people that are standing around like they don't know what's going on or what's happening. Drag them by the ear to vote. Get out and vote and take democracy back. There's a lot of people that showed up, a lot of people that made the long drive, a lot of people that walked with Sally Alice for a long time. I want to thank everybody for their efforts, and thank you everybody for coming out today. Have a great weekend.
Yay! Viva Sally! Woo!
If I could have your attention for one last minute, I would just like to thank Tom Dent for all of his hard work.
Yay! Tom Dent!
Yep. And that's my lovely wife.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to say anything?
No, I'm just,
Okay.
I'm not a real... I mean, yes, I can be, but if I remember the name of this concert, I was just happened to be at, where Popejoy is, and I had been in Albuquerque during the day, and no, actually, I'd been in a program at the Peace and Justice Center dealing with, it wasn't specifically Gaza, but it was more representing grassroots Jerusalem and all the difficulties. Anyway, that's what I was going to say, that the Palestinians are having. Okay, it was after that, I just sauntered over to Popejoy. Okay, and somebody said to me, oh, there's a free concert. Well, it was the room, I think it's Keller Hall, not the main big, not the real big one, the smaller one. It's totally packed, young people, all sorts of references to indigenous rights, And there were, I believe, also some mentions of capitalism, not in a very positive sense, and exploitation, and I think most of the people were Hispanic, but certainly not all. And I have a feeling there were just talking to people with accents, a number of immigrants. But what was amazing is how many people there were, and when there were comments about exploitation or about indigenous rights needing to be protected, they got real raucous. And that was a few nights ago at UNM, and most of the people were under 30. So I felt there was something positive. Maybe it's more the immigrant community, the Hispanic rights or Chicano rights. I don't know, but yet it was certainly not a cross section of UNM, demographic information.
We need to reach out to those people too.
That's what I'm saying.
Desi Brown, who's peace studies with Students for the Liberation of Palestine, and also we work at Peace and Justice Center. Get involved with our new project, because we're going to be on the board and work to have programs on Radio Berkeley, the low-powered FM station that's going to come out in about 3 to 5 months. And we need those type of programs and those connections. One of the major goals of the Peace and Justice Center right now for outreach is connecting with all the groups in the South Valley that we've kind of been peripherally, like La Raza, SWAP, Los Jardines, and there's tons more groups, Cambio Group, and through Berkeley Media, and now that the Media Literacy Project is now a member of the Peace and Justice Center, we can all get together and reach out to those populations.
My
Tomas?
I've been camping most of the summer in Santa Fe.
Tomas?
And I need to get a
Can you do me a favor? I just want to say one last thing on the camera. Sorry, I'll talk to you a little bit in just a minute.
I agree.
Just film me for one thing, because somebody made a mention about the press.
So the mic is still on? Okay. As long as the mic on the camera is working. I was asked to say one last thing. We are filming this. We're filming this ourselves. We're putting it up on YouTube. We're going to blast it all over the internet, all over Facebook, wherever we can. We'll show it at the Peace Center, whatever we can. We'll take the tapes to Channel 13, Channel 4, Channel 7. All these people have been invited. They've been invited probably 5 different times by 5 different organizations. They're not really here. If they're here and their cameraman is like filming with one of these super fancy cameras, we don't know this. If a reporter's here, we don't know this. Reporters, a lot of people have been asked to be here, and they're not. This is a touchy issue. This is a hard thing for mainstream media to deal with because they're corporately owned. You want to say one last thing?
I'm told that the newspaper, the New Mexican today, said it was going to be at 2 o'clock. And so that may have thrown some people off. I plan to be here at 2 just to let them know that it was at noon.
But you could give them some pictures, or you could provide them, just some pictures of the event.
Yeah. Let them contact
or if they're
me.
transcripts
I'll give
of
them
what
the
people
film.
said.